Greetings everyone, we're going to be looking at the art stylings of Gravity Falls today. I'm going to get straight into it because I'm going to be a bit more real time to begin with, because I'm going to show off the beginning sketching process of this, because I thought it was a bit more interesting than my last one, and I actually think it deserves a tad bit more explaining as I go along. Gravito's got one of those basic Western cartoon art styles. It's reminiscent of things like Futurama and Simpsons the same way. It's got like rounded eyes and stuff, but it's got its own flair and its own little tweaks and peaks here that are quite interesting, and I feel it's worth talking about. So first we're working on a girl, and I've used Wendy here as a good kind of like workout to kind of work out what I wanted to do for the size and shape, and we're using her to create Heather from Silent Hill 3. Yes, we're doing Silent Hill characters today, and I'm just kind of playing around with the shape and stuff here, and thinking about what I wanted to do for like her overall body structure. Heather's very slim and small and kind of petite looking, and she's quite similar to Wendy, so it's a nice easy start because I can just use Wendy as a good template for making her model. I just need to change the hair and the outfit and whatnot. They've got in Gravity Falls, we're looking at very long, just thin arms and thin limbs, and they've usually got like sausage shaped bodies and roundish heads with a bit of the chin is almost like another round bob on it. This is one of those art styles there. Unlike other ones, it's all very rounded and curved, and when it does use straights, it's only when the limbs are kind of relaxed. And with the hair, they vary with the hair as well. Sometimes they've got weird like curves and twists in the hair, and sometimes they're a bit more straight and pointy. You could do what you want really if you were making a new character in this art style. You could do any sort of hair you want, just make sure it has a very sturdy outline. I was just getting the feel for it there, and so I was just trying out what I wanted to do for the shape and the eyes and whatnot. And Heather here is very squinty, so I wanted to do like the eyelids slightly lit and the top and the bottom. Okay, and also thinking about poses. I'm gonna have Heather here at the side of my main picture. I'm not sure which side it is at this point, but I know I wanted her kind of like pointing a flashlight, and so I'm planning for the picture to have the same structure as this one, with the being some menacing things in the background and the main characters in the foreground. So like I say, she's going to be ended up at the side, and so I'm looking at seeing what kind of pose I want her in, and making sure that I'm getting the proportions correct to the art style of Gravity Falls. Luckily, it's not too complicated. It's very simplistic, and so you've got like the feet are just round bob objects, and the hands. I believe the hands have just 3 fingers, and it's just simply little like sausage fingers. They haven't got the indentations or anything of other art styles. The same with the ears, they're just rounded ears. They do vary from character to character, but for Wendy, because I think Wendy's probably the most go-to character in the lineup of the mains in Gravity Falls for really getting a feel for the art style. That's why I chose to start with this character, Heather, other than starting with like Henry or James, because I'm using this to get a feel for it. Like I say, I'm going for these squinty eyes. A little like pouty mouth. Heather's got quite thick lips, so I might do a little bit more of a rounded curve on the mouth to give that thick lip appearance, unlike Wendy, who's got very thin, shallow lips. Making Heather quite worried here. Alright, let's work around the main shape now and see if it comes together a little bit. I may be changing this, I don't know yet. Get a fringe in, get a bobble hair. Very Ray-like hair, you know, Evangelion Ray. I always think of, whenever I see this bobble hair like this, I always think of Evangelion Ray. I don't know why. It's probably not the first, but I watched that when I was very young, so I'm like reminiscent of that. She's got her bomber jacket, and with the pockets. But I'm going to simple down the jacket a little bit because, like in Gravity Falls, you haven't got overt detail on the clothes. They've got a lot of flat, plain clothes, and I wanted to keep to that slightly. I'll keep certain details in. I'll keep the pockets in, and then I might just make it a flat and then just give it a zipper line. Alright, and we're looking at the arms now. I'm checking out the limbs. Like I said, they're very like just close, like wiry limbs kind of thing, and the hands are all like 3 fingers as far as I'm aware, and so you just use these kind of sausage like fingers, and just make sure you get the depth right if you're going to do something like this, because they're all kind of designed for smooth animation more than anything, but they do leave a really good aesthetic, because I'm a big fan of like simplistic drawings as well, so the less complicated it is, I actually think it ends up looking better in certain degrees, especially when you're using group shots. And it seems I have decided to give Heather the flashlight. I'm going to give a flashlight to one of the characters. I'm not going to give it to all of them because there'd be too many light sources in the scene, and I'm going to have Heather pointing the flashlight off to the side so it's not influencing the light too much, because this particular drawing has a real emphasis on lighting. I want it to be backlit, and I want it to very ominous shadowing over the characters, so it's probably going to be one of the most important parts getting right is the lighting. So I'm not sure if I'm going to explain all the way through that, but that I think it's going to be just heavy shadows on the front of the characters. And I've drawn out that one leg with a little bit of a dip, but I think I'm going to end up just having it be as straight, because the characters hardly ever have like emphasized like leg shapes. They have very like say pipeline like slabs or like funnel shapes, and yeah, I'm just going to take it out. I'm just going to have a straight line leg. I'm not going to bother having like a curve in it. Yeah, and for the feet, you don't need to worry too much about the feet. They're just rounded objects. They're not anything too detailed. If we had bare feet people, it would be different, but luckily we just got smooth little shapes. And again, for the arm here, I've given this arm an indent because it has depth to it, and I think this would be a opportunity to cheat a little bit and actually give it some definition that makes it look a bit more like it's stretching out, other than it being just a thin shape. I wanted it slightly bent as well. Like the other option I have is to make it just a cylinder pointing straight, but it's a bit awkward when you're holding something like a light to have your arm cocked straight. It's not like she's holding a gun or anything like that. And I'm just putting down some details so I know where the light source is going. And that's pretty much it for Heather, and I'm going to just throw her to the side for now and make her invisible. Take down the opacity a little bit on her so she can so I can draw on top of her later when I do the line work. Yep. Just gets rid of some of these files. No, I don't want to save. Harry Mason. Yep, we're going to be looking at Harry Mason next. Silent Hill 1 protagonist. And I'm also going to be taking a few ideas from Silent Hill Shattered Memories, because I quite liked his design in Silent Hill Shattered Memories. He's a little bland in Silent Hill 1, but that's the point, I suppose, of him in Silent Hill 1. He's very much a blank slate, looking for his daughter. We're going to use some characters that aren't on the main cast. I wanted to get like a strong middle-aged vibe from Harry, so I'm playing around with trying to make my own thing here. And I also didn't want him to be just a boring, just square-jawed character, so I'm going to give him a little bit of the old bobbled chin here. and a little bit of a big nose and some big eyes. I might even give him some of the floppy ears as well, but I'll see what he looks like with the chin and whatnot and see if it's too much. Yeah, here it's like you've got a square and a circle, and that's the head. If you're adding the chin, you're adding another like kind of almost oblong, or I kind of think it would be a cube to begin with at the bottom, but you obviously shape it to whatever your head's going to be. I'm also going to, I'm going to play around with the nose as well. Here's me, I'm just sketching out the rough shape of the body. I'm not going to make him as tubbly as the elderly gentleman here. I think that's the father of the two twins that were in the lake in the first episode. They just reused him. I'm not going to have him have as thin as the rich father over there. He's got just thinking about the hairline and the glasses. I think I'm going to give him just square glasses, and yeah, I'm taking the glasses from Shattered Memory, and because I think it adds something to the design of the character, make it a bit more interesting. And the hair, he's got kind of like pulled back hair, so I'm going to give him like spiky hair. Just working out the mouth. Probably going to have some age lines in there, because that's too small. Just deciding what size I want the eyes to be, because they do adjust the eyes depending on age. The younger they are, they've got bigger eyes. Because it's a good way of, with an art style this simple, to help determine age is by the eye size. But they're still quite large. But I think that's good. And I'm going to give him a square. I'm going to square off his head. Give him a nice square jaw. I want Harry to be a little bit manly here. I don't want him to be as weedy as the other characters. I'm going to make James a little weedy, so I'm going to make Harry a little bit more sturdy. Yeah, I'm just comparing the hair as well. I think, yeah, it's going to be this slick back look, but I don't know how many points I'm going to put in, because I don't want it to be anime. I want it to just be, it's kind of Fry-y actually. Fry from Futurama. Like I say, the styles are quite similar, so I could probably nick a little things from that sort of thing as well. It's not quite Simpson-esque, because Simpson has a lot of really quirky design ideas, whereas Futurama did make it a little bit more sturdy. Like they did have proper skin colours and proper hair colours. Well, realistically, like they're not real hair colours. I mean, you got like purple hair and stuff, but I mean, like they aren't just all yellow and browns. Gonna give him a collar. I'm gonna give him the jacket, the brown jacket, and I'm just gonna give him a shirt, I think, underneath. And have him holding a phone, Shattered Memory style, because it's another light source, but I'm not gonna make it really that prominent. I'm gonna cheat a little bit with it. I'm just gonna have a light source that oh, what? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For some reason, this old guy has four fingers, and this everyone else has 3 fingers. Never mind. I'm giving him 3 fingers. I'm sticking to my 3-finger agenda here. To be fair, Gravity Falls has got a kind of in-joke about fingers, so they got the one character with 6 fingers, and they got the whole theming with 6 fingers on the books. But no, I'm going to stick with 3 fingers. I want them all kind of the same. I'm not going to just have one character with... Yeah, sometimes they have 4 fingers. It's weird. They tend to, when they make fists, they tend to just be circles with just a little bit of like the bubbles rounded out with fingers. I mean, they try to keep it as simple as possible, so that sometimes they don't need to make rigs for the whole hand. They can just make a fist rig and just make a fist as an object and then use that and move that around. I might make him a little more tubby, I don't know yet. Nice curved bottom. Yeah, like not all the characters, but most of the characters have this like curved like end bit to their bottom shape. Oh, he's too long. I'm probably gonna make him shorter. 1 second. I'll come back to that in a minute. Just detail the face a little bit more. I'll give him some like. I'm just making the features very defined so I know what I'm doing. They haven't got thick eyebrows usually in Gravity Falls, so I'm just going to give them all thin line eyebrows because I think it'd be veering off a little bit too much if I gave them somebody thick eyebrows. Give him a grimace. I don't want him to have old man lips. Again, I'm gonna give him cubey shoes. I'm not going to do anything elaborate on here. They're just shapes and like just basic shapes on the feet. I don't think any of them have elaborate feet. I think sometimes they have heels in the show, but I'm not gonna be using that. Let's get this shape defined. I might trim him down a little bit when I finish this top layer of shape. I just want to get this face defined. Can't decide where I want the mouth at the moment, because sometimes they have the mouths really quite high to the nose, but I kind of want a little bit of lip showing, because I'm going to give them shadow, I think, when I shade it. And do these rimmed glasses. Yeah, go for this big ear here now. Yeah, I don't know when I decided that. Just as I was drawing it, it felt right, so I just kept it. Yeah, I'm not going to do all these lines I've done for the hair. I just made a shape that felt right, and I'm just simplifying it out a little bit. Just shape that head with the hair. The eyebrows. I may go in and add more, like a head wrinkle or something later to give him a bit of age, but I might hold off for that until I know what he looks like, because I don't want him to look elderly. I want him to look middle-aged, and if you too many lines in the face and you start going into elderly periods, because I find when you add more lines to the face, it makes them more and more elderly looking. It's not a rule or anything, but it's what I keep to. Yeah, I'm just making out this outline of the body. Take a sip of my drink, was it? And yeah, I'm gonna cut his body down a bit. I don't like this shape he's ended up being. He's a bit too bottom heavy. As you can see, you can immediately look at that and know that he's too frumpy. He's too long. I mean, there are characters like that in Gravity Falls, but I don't really like the way it's looking on him. Like, I think Seuss is a bit more oblong like that. And so I'm just cutting everything down a little bit. I'm still going to keep that round body, but bottom, I'm just going to make him a little bit stouter. And get this phone in, and just drawing the light how I want the phone to go on. It's probably only going to really affect the fingers. I might do a little bit on the face with the lighting. Like I say, I'm not if you wanted it 100% correct, that phone light would probably illuminate his entire face, but I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to cheat a little bit and just have it as like a slightly excess light, so his face isn't black. And Harry here is probably going to be in the middle, but yeah, that I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to stick him over the side and make him visible. Hide the layer. And we're going to draw Sybil. Yep, Silent Hill 1 is going to have 2 characters, protagonists from the game. Just because I wanted to draw a lady cop, because lady cops are cool. That literally is the reason. And I don't know, I just wanted to. I'm going to have her stand right next to Harry. I really like Sybil. She's like one of my favourite characters in Silent Hill. I just find it really interesting. I even liked her in Shattered Memories. Like I say, I could take more from Shattered Memories for her as well, but I wanted her just in a like officer uniform, and I'm going to take ideas from the officer uniforms from Gravity Falls as well. I'm gonna have her holding a gun, I think. Yeah, just getting the style here. Yeah, I already drew Heather, so I've kind of got the idea of the basic shapes of these. And she's going to have the similar body structure to Heather, a little bit more tall, a little bit more lanky. Might give us more lines on the face to give her a bit older, eyes slightly smaller. But just working out the pose for now. Poses are very important. You may think I'm just rushing through the poses, but I've kind of got an idea for the layout of this, but nothing concrete. I know I wanted them next to each other, and I know the basic poses I want for them. Yeah, I'm gonna take some stuff from Gravity Falls. I'm gonna take some stuff from her actual uniform, because there aren't officers in Gravity Falls. They're a bit more of rangers, but I'm gonna do like the star symbol like theirs. I'm gonna probably have like just the shoulder piece like that. We can make it a bit more thin, a bit more elegant, because it is on a woman. It's not on a chubby black guy with a moustache. Give a little bit more of a chest there, Heather. Just looking at the arms, yeah. There's a lot of nice little character sheets floating around on Gravity Falls, so I've got a lot of content to look at for like arm shapes and whatnot. I'm gonna give her a button nose, I think. Don't want to go a straight one. Again, she's got fullish lips. I don't know if I'll keep that. Eye size. I don't want to. So I'm just playing around with the eye size because I want something that's a little smaller than Heather's, but I want it. Don't want it too tiny. I don't know, I might adjust this in a second. Yeah, I'm gonna slightly angle it down a bit more. Gonna make a bit more hunched. Gonna adjust the neck in a minute. Yeah, it's a bit better. It's a bit better. Lining up with the arch of the back there and make it a little bit better. It's not quite right yet. Get something in for the hair. Push these out a little bit more. Maybe I'll give her a bit more of a squinty eye. Yeah, the chin's not quite working. Like I say, when you do these sort of pictures, never be afraid to just rub out and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I like that much better. A bit more of a curved mouth. I'm gonna have solid chunks for the hair. I'm not gonna have windy bits. Adding a little bit of the detail onto her shirt. Yeah, I'm just giving her a shirt for her officer uniform. Pop the hands in. And I'm not going to go overly complicated with the gun either. I'm just going to have like a basic shape. Might give it a little bit of a grip, and I might give it just a bit of a downward angle. Make sure I can see enough of the grip. That's fine, that's fine. I don't know how much of her body's going to be revealed, because like I say, I'm going to have her behind Harry. I'm not going to have her off by herself. I almost want to make them the central point, so I wanted her back kind of arching in to point towards Harry, and Harry's going to have like it's got a very straight pose. I'll put a baton in here. I don't know if you'll see any of the baton, but I'll throw it in anyway. Yeah, give her this nice curved leg. Here, see, this is an example of like how the limbs don't really have the normal kind of like straight joints like some of the other art styles. Like when I did Panty and Stockings art style, here it would be a jagged point on the end of the knee, but for these guys you just got these kind of curved sausage shapes. Angry pose. It's going to be a bit more... yeah, cigarettes. Why not? Throw a cigarette in. Sybil smoke? I don't know. It looks cool. I'm going to keep it in. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll adjust it slightly when I do the line work. I'm going to pop it over to the corner and just make that layer hidden like the others. Sorry about the random cut there. Just moving on to James. We're just sorting out some of his files before I went on to start drawing him. Put on some more males from Gravity Falls to look at, and a couple of images of James. I'm gonna make James a little bit more Dipper-esque in what he's looking like. I'm always gonna make him an older Dipper with a different hairstyle. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take some of Dipper's images and just drop them straight into the... Nope. Take some of Dipper. Just gonna drop them into my working file, make this picture a bit bigger. Yeah, I'm gonna make him almost like an older Dip. I'm gonna make him a little lanky. He's got some upper body to him, James, but I'm gonna make him a little bit more lanky and a bit more scared looking than the other characters. He's not overly confident, I think. He's more of a just going with what's happening kind of guy, so just play around here for a second, just get a look I'm happy with, and then I might be a bit more serious. I'm going to give him the bubble face and the round head, and I'm going to give him the curved nose. I'm going to make the eyes slightly smaller, like I say, to make him a bit more adult. I'm going to give him a worried expression. As for hair, he's got a very definite middle part, and I'm going to have these two big clumps at the front, and then I'm going to just have it curved off the back. Yeah, I'm mostly happy with that. Just going to put this over here, so I've got a kind of reference idea for what I would do for this. Again, Dipper's one chubby circle and a circle for the top head, and then the eyes meet the bottom of the top circle. I'm going to give him this kind of the longer, lankier body. I'm going to make it a little bit more upper torso, but I'm still going to give him this kind of... I'm going to give him a hunched sausage shape, I think. Gonna give him bent, almost quivering like legs with these curves in. I'm going to have him holding something. It might be a bat. Oh no, I'm gonna go for the plank of wood. Yeah, the plank of wood. I'm pretty sure he picks that up earlier in the game. People remember the plank of wood with the nail sticking out, right? Nee, plank of wood. Nee. Yeah, I quite like that shape. Let's see how that works. It's got a jacket. Make it a bit more chubby. Make sure I keep in that round stomach. Yeah, he's got they've got very rounded. The adults, even the kids, males have very rounded bottom halves. Females are a little bit more squareoid, I think. Sometimes they throw hips in. They don't, not too often. I mean, I can't recall any characters with particularly curvaceous features on Gravity Falls, but that's fine. I haven't got any characters that are curvaceous right now. I'm not doing Mary or anyone. Get this hair in. Again, I'm going to have James off to the side. I don't know what side yet. Might stick him on the right. Yeah, I might stick him on the right so that this plank of wood's kind of pointing at the middle. I'll see what I feel like when I do it. Okay, I'm going to give him a little button nose. I'm going to make his eyes a little bit larger than the other characters. I'm not sure what I'm doing for the age of James here. I think I'm just going, like, not a teenager, just going over into, like, adult-ish, maybe late 20s kind of thing I'm thinking about. I know that's not his actual age, but for this character model, I wanted him to have a bit more Dipper-esque features, and I don't know, I'll stick some lines in to add some age to his face, but he's definitely one of the. He's in between Heather and Harry, I find. So that's what I'm going for. May not pull it off too well. Like I say, ages are a little bit tricky with that sort of thing in Gravity Falls because you've got a lot of kids and teens in it. You've got the two extremes. You've got elderly people and kids and teens. I mean, I could use Seuss as a reference point, but that's not going to help me very much. Give these, like, you know, again, like just curved arms. I'm going to do a little bit of a dent in there as well. And he's got a thick coat, so I think I can get away with just giving himself a little bit of a dent, bit of a more defined arm shape. Especially since, again, with this particular arm, it's very prominent in this image, so giving it a little bit more detail is fine, I think. Just around sausage hands. The plank. Yeah, these nails pointing up. Just, what's that image? 1 second. Ah, here we go. Yeah, he's got a plank in there. Pretty sure it has nails in it. Yeah, I can see nails in that one. Put it a bit lower. Gonna pop a radio on him as well. That was a very prominent thing in Silent Hill 2, the radio crackle like that. So I'm gonna give him a little, like, waist radio. It's just a little thing to add to his character, to be honest. Like, I like adding little random things hanging off characters. Like I did a baton earlier. Sometimes I do that. Round feet. I'm not gonna give anything overly detailed to the feet. They're not a central point. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to throw that to the side, and I'm going to hide that layer as well. Delete a few of these extra bits that I don't need anymore. Boop. Moving on to something a little bit more out there now. This is one that's going to be a bit. It's going to be a bit more experimental and not really keeping to anything specific in the art style, because I'm going to throw in some monsters into here as well, because there are monsters in Gravity Falls, but they all have very varying art styles to the way that they're done. They haven't got a specific formula like the people have, but I'm going to take little things from them, and I'm going to keep the line work the same, and I'm going to just do my own thing with it, but just try and make sure they fit in. So we've got Valtiel here from Silent Hill 3. She's the it's the kind of the villain of Silent Hill 3. It's one of those grey areas, I think. I don't think there's that much set in stone about Valtiel here. He drags off Heather when she dies in a game over screen, and he's always kind of in the background, kind of peering on. He's very stalker-ish in the game. I think he's prominent enough that I would label him as one of the more dominant characters in Silent Hill 3, so I'm using him, and I think he's got an interesting enough monster design that I want to. I've got a few things from Gravity Falls here, the Trick or Treat monster and the woods Slender-esque man monster. Just kind of for the body shapes, like I say, they don't all stick to the same thing, but I'm using him as a primary for kind of monster design because I think he's one of the more standoutish monsters. So I'm gonna use his limb design for Valtiel here. I'm going to give him bubble elbows and stuff, but his limbs are very disjointed and kind of broken, especially around the feet area. He's got crippled hands inside gloves, and he's almost wearing medical kit stuff, but I'm not going to go overly grotesque or anything because the art style doesn't call for it. Like I say, instead of the bella scissors and stuff he's got on him, he's got gross boils and cuts and stitches and stuff. I'm going to go for the Trick or Treat man from Gravity Falls style stitching over him with some patches of colour. And he's going to be behind Heather. I'm probably going to stick to a layer in between them as well, and he's going to be heavily shadowed. I'm going to colour him properly, and then I'm going to play around with the shadowing on these guys, because like I say, I'm using that one Gravity Falls picture that I showed off near the beginning. I'll reference it again when I get to the actual painting process, but I'm using that as the kind of template for what I'm doing in this image, so they're all going to be very heavily lit in shadow. Yeah, I'm using the stitching again here. It's very much just line work on the stitching. It hasn't got anything too crazy going on it, and I'm going to use the dimples because he has dimples on him, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to make the elbows very stand out. They almost look taut, like the skin's taut on it. I'm going to give him the little knitting glove things he's got going on. I don't see a problem with having crippled hands. I mean, there's plenty of strange stuff like that in Gravity Falls, so I'm going to keep the crippled hands in. And I'm just going to add this other arm in, pointy elbows. And yeah, they're kind of disjointed limbs, but I don't want to go too far without the front arms. The front arms look kind of alright, but probably going to make them completely broken at the back because you hardly ever see his legs anyway, and I'm just kind of make them disfigured in some way. This might end up being fattened out again. I might hide some of these limbs anyway behind Heather, because I'm gonna have them kind of stalking and looming behind. Give him the weird corset thing going on. I'm not sure what's going on in his lower half. I'm just kind of making it up. I'm gonna just give him like a medical dress thing. What do I want to do for this? Making this leg quite far out and broken. Might change that in a sec. And put this in here. I'm going to give his feet mittens as well, I think. Yeah, disjointed limbs. You know what? I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. I might change it when I get him in the background, but yeah, he's got kind of. He looks like he's gripping to a wall. I'm happy with that. So, cut him up and hide him. Oop, combine these layers. Bake it down a little bit. Oop, shrink him up and hide him away. Pardon me while I just sort out my windows. Yeah, I'm going to be working on Alessa next. Alessa's probably just going to be a twisted Mabel, to be perfectly honest, with straight hair. Luckily, we have a perfectly good young child to steal the character model from. Right, I think that's everything. Yeah, she's just got a round head and a bubble, cheeky mouth at the bottom. I'm probably going to have her facing straight forward. Very easy. Make sure the eyes are big enough. I'm going to give her a grin, I think. I'm not going to have her open mouthed, I'm just going to have her have like a smirk. I'm going to give her the long straight hair. Not necessarily what Alessa has, but I think it's going to look better because we're not. If it was a side view, I'd probably give her the ponytail, but I'd give her the Japanese long horror movie straight hair, as was done at the time. And she's got a very simple dress with a tie and a shirt. I think it's like boarding school clothes. I'm just deciding what I want the proportions to be like. I'm going to be similar to Mabel, but I might just make her a bit more slim instead of having the frumpy jumper that Mabel wears. She's got kind of a thin, elegant dress, so I'm just going to go for that. I'm going to make her a little bit chubby though, around the face. She's got one of those. She's got a childish, cute chub face. I'm pretty happy with those proportions. Let's just. I'm going to redraw it though. I'm going to go for this pose that she's showing off in this image here, with the legs slightly overlapping and the arms out. It's a pretty cool pose going on. Very ominous. I'm going to have a looking up a little bit. I'm not sure about those legs just yet. Gonna have the hair slightly moving, I think, to the side. Yeah, I quite like that. So yeah, here I'm stealing a pose for this one. For the others, I tend to just make up one. I mean, like, they are from stuff. Like the cop poses was very blatant. This one, I like the Alessa pose, so I'm going to have that done on here. Yeah, there's a smirk. That's what I picked that, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, give her more straight hair than Mabel. Mabel's ends in curls and has little puffy bits coming out. I'm just going to give her straight hair. Give the tie. The arms going out. I'm going to make the arms a little bit more baggy. And I'm going to use Mabel's thing where she's got like the sleeves overlapping a bit. Use her like sausage type fingers. Going to give Gonna give a little bit of a closing motion on this hand. I'm gonna give an open motion on this hand, I think. I'm fairly happy with that. Yes, straight dress. Yeah, like I say, I'm not that happy with these legs. Let's have a look what they look like. Yeah, they look a bit weird. I'm gonna come back to them in a second. Yeah, I don't like them. I'm just gonna delete them and redo them. Bit more of a straight one, and just playing around with it because I don't want them. I don't want them defined again. They're just little sausagey long legs. I just want to get the kind of angle that I'm doing here right. See what that looks like. That's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. Yeah, knee-high socks. Just playing around with the hands a little bit. I'm pretty happy with the pose. She's going to be central, just so people know that that's the reason I've gone for this one, because I think it's a very nice central pose. It's kind of sacrificial, out, palms out kind of thing. But I'm going to have a kind of floating high central, I think, above Harry and Sybil. Other than behind them, I'm going to have her above them. Okie dokie, and moving on, and last but not least, we've got old P-Head here. Fan favourite. Ooh. Not gonna make it that dark. Should I show this? Oh, whatever. I'll probably make this a adult video, so because it's got slight gore in it. Don't want YouTube biting me. Sorting out my files again, bear with me. Okie dokie. So, I'm pretty much just going to take the trick-or-treater's body and adjust it to be period head. I could make him more muscly, but I'm quite liking this scrawny look for the monsters at the moment. I'm probably going to stick with it. I'm going to have the sword in this, well, the great knife in this at some point. I don't know where or what shape. Let's have a little tinker around with this. I'm just messing with shapes. It's something I like doing sometimes. I don't always just redraw things. Sometimes I'll draw a shape and then I'll just throw it around and see if I like the angle. Because sometimes you only really need a minor adjustment to the shape. I don't think it's a bad habit to get into when you're rough drawing. Just cut out shapes. I mean, it's something you can only do in a digital medium. I think it's worth abusing. I'm gonna give him big feet. I'm gonna go off the model a little bit and have him have frumpy feet because he's got big massive boots, and they have been known to give characters big feet in the series, so why not? Pose is alright. Taking a little bit from both, to be honest. And I'm doing the head last because it's so overpowering. I'm gonna have to shape the image to the head, so I was kind of getting the pose down first. So I'm not in the habit of this. I'm gonna rotate this as well. He's very much, yeah. The head's everything on this character. I'm gonna have it steepling down a bit more. Have the great knife in here. Not sure about this one. Just throw in some shapes around. So I'm just thinking about the body shape here. I want him to be kind of muscly, but I don't want him to. I want him to have that lanky arm look, but I don't want him to be as. I don't want it to be as scraggly as the Trick or Treat guy. So I've got something in my head that I'm trying to do here, and that's what happens. I'm just kind of throwing ideas on this one. He is kind of an important character, yeah, in the sense that he's really popular, but in the grand scheme of things, he is just the villain of Silent Hill 2, and he's going to be at the side. Unless is going to be the central villain. P-Head here is going to be at the side, and he's going to be probably having his angles pointing towards. I'm thinking of having the arm pointed towards James. So like your eye follows down his head and into his arm, and then it'll point to James. But it may not work out that way. Like I say, that when I put the image together, it's going to be tricky. I don't always work like this when I do a piece. Like you saw in the Fantasy Stocking, I did I drew them both at the same time because they were both on the chair together. On this one, I'm drawing individual characters, and then I'm just going to cut them and paste them and work out what them look like in a central scene. I've got an idea for it. Like I say, I've got they're all going to just be standing together. They're not really interacting. It's almost collagey the way I'm thinking of doing it, so that's why I'm drawing them separately. I don't want to be influenced by the whole picture on each individual character design because I'm getting them down. I wanted them separate when I was drawing them so that they'd all be kind of unique, but keep to that art style. When you draw a picture all together, you tend to have them blend a little bit, and you will compensate more for the overall picture. But here, I kind of wanted the character designs to be the important part of it. So, and also for a video, I think this layout works quite well, showing the individual characters being made up. Yeah, I'm just gonna give big boots. He looks alright. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with the great knife at the moment. I might flip that around. I might just get rid of it altogether. It's pretty iconic to him, but I think the helmet and the kind of upper torso is the most important part. I might have the rest of it hidden behind the image. I'll see what happens. I might change my mind. And on his apron, I guess it is, I'm probably going to do the stitch work again. So I know that line's probably going to have stitch work on it. I don't know if I'm going to bother. Not sure about this arm. I might just hide this arm and cheat, but the one holding the great knife. Yeah, I don't know how much of him I'm going to reveal, because really the important part is the upper torso. But he's so huge that I don't want him to be shrunk to fit into the image, so I'm probably going to have him huge and only have a part of him visible. But I'll draw it all just in case any of it does kind of come in anyway. Right, that's not too bad. I'll shrink him down and hide him. Alright, and let me just sort out my files again. Okay, and we're gonna work on the overall layout of this image now. I'm going to have the ritual glyph in here. Gonna have this replacing the light source in the center, so this is gonna be my light source essentially. So it's gonna be on like a middle layer and have the monsters in the back layer semi-lit by the overlap of light, and then I'm gonna have it a backlight to the main characters in the front layer, and there's going to be kind of a resonant red glow on the main characters in the front layer. This middle layer is going to be a crumbling wall, kind of like in transition to the other world kind of thing. I'm going to mix the image to the right here, the Gravity Falls image, with a kind of otherworld transformation. Like I said, this overall image it was going to be a parody of that artwork to the right. I'm going to have a bit of the flooring tearing away as well. It's going to be kind of a, I don't know, like maybe a medical building-esque thing. It's going to have the browns from the image. It's going to have the otherworld browns and dirty reds. And it's going to be lit by red light, so it's going to look very, very scummy. Going to have little bits hanging off and floating up, as if they're tearing off. I'm going to give them outlines as well, rough brown outlines. Okay, let's work out where we're going to have these pieces. Okay, Heather, are you going to go this side or? So maybe have the light pointing in. Gonna put Harry in the middle here. And I'm gonna have Sybil behind Harry. Get her size right to him. I think she's a little bit shorter than Harry. A bit taller than Heather. Heather's a bit in the background as well. So they're roughly the same size, but she's got a little bit of height if she was standing straight. And then James. I'm going to have James here, maybe have the wood pointing down. And how's this? Maybe Twister so the light's pointing out. I'm not too sure about the layout on this one. Yeah, I'm going to swap their sides. I'm going to have James on this side and I'm going to have Heather on this side. Yeah, that... yeah, I'm liking that better. Heather doesn't direct the eye as well as she could, but she's on the far side so it's not too bad. But James works way better on this side. His back arching towards the middle. And I'm going to have a crack down the middle here to direct the eye central. Rub that out. It's going to cut into the glyph a little bit, that's fine. I'm also going to have a lesser up there, I think. Just increase the canvas size. Valtyr's going to be behind Heather. Valtyr's roughly human size, maybe a little bit bigger than Heather. I'm going to have him... yeah, I'm going to have him like that. I can always tweak of his limbs a little bit when I do the line work. I'm gonna cut him out a little bit now. Yeah, don't want him. I want that hand visible. I'll make sure it's nice and dark or something behind her. And I think I want a bit of that leg visible as well. Just redraw that quickly. Yeah. I'm gonna have it wedging up like that. It doesn't really matter about the foot. I just wanted the knee visible a little bit. I'm probably gonna change that back leg as well. Yeah, let's rub that, and just gonna make that back leg a little bit more outcropped like that. Yeah, much happier with that pose. His body kind of pulls down to the side there a bit, so you're here. It's pushing you out to the edge of the image, so that's not too bad. It's framing it quite well, and just get a lesser in, and it's gonna have her central. A lot smaller. Where do I want her? I'm gonna have her floating. As if she's coming over. As if she's splitting the wall a little bit. Cut down a little bit more. Might mirror up a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have her so she's kind of like almost coming out of the seam of the wall there. She might get moved up a bit later. Get P-head over here. I'm gonna flip him as well, I think. Whoops. Didn't mean to select the background. There we go. Yeah, like I say, I'm probably just gonna have his upper torso mostly visible. Let's just get him somewhere I'm happy with. Yeah, there we go. Definitely the biggest thing on the image. Yeah, I like that quite well. Again, that he's pointing out, so he's framing the image a little bit. It's not too bad. Alright then. And from this point on, I'm just going to be working on line work and everything else in this image. So I'm going to let it's already gone on quite long, so I'm going to speed up for the last half of this image, last half of this speed drawing, and just let you guys enjoy. Congratulations, you made it to the end of my rambling. I'm going to leave you in the second half of this video with the sound of That Technique's remix of Gravity Falls and Silent Hill. Please enjoy that, and why not check out their SoundCloud and their blog. It has some cute art on it. I really enjoyed looking through the art on there. I encourage everyone to check it out. Thanks a lot again, and maybe check out some more of my videos, subscribe and do all that liking and stuff. Enjoy!